I'm Steph from Stitching with Steph, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing week 2 of my large koi and peony stitch with me. This particular canvas is by Classical Cross Stitch. It is an 11 count. It is 91 by 181 centimeters, and it does consist 57 colors. If you're a subscriber and you're returning to my channel, thank you. I really appreciate you coming back today and doing another stitch with me. If you're not a subscriber and you happen to be suggested my video and you like this type of content, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And if you like this particular video, please give it a thumbs up. Lastly, if you would like to leave any comments in the description or anything like that, I'll be sure to get back to you. Let's go ahead and dive into this week 2 stitch with me of the large canvas of koi and peony. All right, friends, welcome back to week 2. As you can see, I already have my thread already started here, but it looks like it may need to be adjusted a bit. We're going to be doing color number 52, which is all of this green and through here. And color 52 is 3843, and it's this really pretty like peacock blue, if you can see. So yeah, as you can see, I got a lot of that done already. I was telling my husband how nice it is to be able to like wheel this bad boy out when we're like just hanging out watching TV. And then I have a big like recliner. This wouldn't work with a reclining chair, to be honest. So I just wheel my little office chair out into my like sitting space where me and my husband watch TV and hang out. So it comes in pretty handy. I did order because it did come with like smaller like Q-snap pieces, probably about 4, like not snap pieces. What should I say? Clamps, there we go. It came with about 6 clamps on my stand. However, I don't like how there's smaller. So I like my canvases not so taut, as you can probably tell, because I don't like my stitches being super tight because I tend to break needles when I overstitch too much. So what I did was I ordered, I think they're off of Amazon. Yes, I ordered them off of Amazon, and they're from the Q-snap brand, and they're actually 8.5 inches long. So this floor stand does go up to, I think, like the actual metal part of it is 37 inches long when it's fully extended, which it is for this canvas because it is just that big, that wide. So if you have a canvas that isn't so wide, then you should be okay, to be honest. Let me see. So this stitch with me, since it's not my first one, will not be nearly as long as the other one. This one will be my probably standard 30-ish minutes. For those of you that are new with me, that's what mine typically are about 30 minutes. And sometimes I do pause to take some drink breaks because I don't want you guys hearing me on camera rechapping my lips and like putting new chapstick on, and then what's it called, drinking as well. I have to put like a piece of paper here because my camera has a green screen feature that I cannot disable. So sometimes, let me see if I can show you guys. It does that. So I have to put like something solid in the background for now, because unfortunately it's just a feature that I can't disable. So as long as I have like my hand or like a small piece of paper in the screen, it seems to not glitch. And like I said, I even asked my husband, who's pretty tech savvy, if it can be disabled. He said no, we tried. And we emailed the maker of the camera, and they said, unfortunately, it's just because of all the small different shapes and stuff like that, it sometimes the camera can't decide necessarily what it wants to focus on. So I was like, I mean, for a camera for only $60, I'll take it. And the editing software is really amazing. So if it means that my hand has to stay in, or I have to put a little piece of paper in the screen right here in the bottom corner, which right here anyways, like right here is where I put like my image of my product anyway. So it doesn't really faze me anyway, because it gets covered up, most of it anyways. Oop. The only thing is, if you could probably tell, is I can be an ambidextrous stitcher if I need to be, which I might need to in this particular one, just because it helps me keep my thread straight so it doesn't like snag up on me, and I can tend to stitch a lot faster, as you can probably see. I'm also, here's a little fun fact for you, I'm also ambidextrous in the sense of writing too. I can write with both hands. I'm left hand dominant, but I can write and stitch both ways. And another little fun fact for you guys, my daughter, when she was little, she started off writing with her left hand, but my mom used to watch her when she was a baby. So she, when she started like learning to eat and stuff like that, my mom would have her switch hands because my mom was right-handed. So that kind of sucked. But, so she ended up being right-handed. My middle son is right-handed and my youngest is left-handed like me. There we go. So what's everyone up to today? It was great because last week we had snow, and then all of a sudden, so we went from like 70s to like snow, right? And then what happened was, sorry about that, 70s, and then it snowed for like 2 days, and then it went back into warm weather, and I'm like, good old Colorado, you can't escape it. Anybody that lives here knows what our weather is like, and it's honestly a little atrocious from time to time, just because it's like, it's one of those states that you can never put away your clothes. So I went outside to check my garden because I was worried about the freeze, but my garlic did just fine, and my onions are blooming beautifully. My rose bushes were okay. So everything was okay with that little last freeze. We're supposed to have a last freeze all the way up to, I think it's like May 8th. I can't remember, to be honest. But I always do my like I always plant here in Colorado. Like, I'll go to the garden center every year for Mother's Day. That's what we do because I love gardening. My husband and my family will take me to the garden center, and I just get to go wild in there, picking out like vegetables and flowers. When we lived in New Mexico, I had a whole greenhouse outside, and I used to start my seeds from scratch, but the yard that I have now isn't big enough for me to have a greenhouse. Not even like a smaller one, not as much, because I have about, by the time end of next summer comes, I'll have about, I think I calculated it, it's like almost a 1,200, like 1,100 something square feet of gardening space is what I'm going to have. So anyone that gardens, you know how much space that is, which is nice, but also to grow that many plants every year to cover it, I need a decent sized garden space. And in New Mexico, I had probably close to 2,000 square feet of gardening space, and I grew a lot in New Mexico. And people are like, it's the desert though. Yeah, but my mom taught me how to be a gardener, so I knew how to amend the soil out there. Was it a lot of work? Yes, but I did get a lot of good stuff to grow out there. Your typical stuff, and I used the shade of my house for like cooler plants and stuff like that, you know. It was nice. I liked it. But I just can't wait till Mother's Day comes around because I want to get some flowers in the ground. My husband's going to build me, I designed some PVC hoops for my raised beds because I do raised bed gardening in this house. So I designed some, and he's going to build them for me because our dogs, we have 2 huskies. One of them I call him Parkourian because he literally will clear my flower beds, and I'm just like, or he'll like try to jump in them to look over the fence at the dogs in the neighborhood, and I'm just like, dude, like what are we doing right now? So the beds that he jumps in right now, I don't have anything in it. So right now I'm not too worried about it. So what he does is, like, I have my fenced, like I have, say this is my grass area. So I have raised beds all along here. Here I have an entryway into my grassy area and bushes. And then I have raised beds here and like a fire pit like right here. So he'll like jump these beds right here. He'll like clear them, or he'll jump in them to run along the side of the house to keep up with people walking their dogs. And I'm just like, if you were not so cute, sir, we would have a problem. You're just lucky that I know this is in your nature. So to deter the behavior, we're going to do some hoops on there, and we're going to put some, right now because it's still a little cold, I'm going to put like plastic over them to create like a greenhouse effect. So that way next year when I start growing, I can start using each individual garden bed as its own little greenhouse, if that makes sense. Since I can't have a greenhouse here, I'm going to use each garden bed as their own individual greenhouse. So if you guys want, this summer, like I said, is probably not going to be a lot of, let me see. Sorry, I just had to scooch you down to see what I was doing. I can kind of get, my backyard's a work in progress because I redid some stuff and moved rock around, and next year we should have our backyard completely done with all of my raised beds. So if you guys want to see a garden tour next year, I can definitely give you one. Once I figure, I think my daughter is going to show me how to load videos. See, look at that little symbol there, is a little weird. From my phone. She said that I could use Movie Cut, I think. So I'll figure it out before then, to be honest with you. There we go. This symbol's a little weird. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to see it next year. I can do like little pictures for you guys and load it to Instagram too. That's an option. Let's see. We can do little pictures on Instagram. That could work too. That way I don't have to do a whole video and then edit a video. That way you guys can kind of just see. That would probably be easier for everybody. I know it would be probably easiest and quick for me to take pictures once it's all done. And then when we built our house, we didn't have a covered patio done. So the year after that, we were thinking about having a custom patio built, but we'll see. Like a patio cover, correction. Patio cover, because we already have the concrete poured. But right now we don't have an actual patio cover because when we built our house, our builders wanted like an extra 40 grand for it. I was like, for 40 grand, just for the covered patio, like I know I can hire somebody less than that. And again, it was because it was the custom builder, and stuff like that. You know, like when you go buy a house in a subdivision, the builders, that's what we did. So I'm thinking what they did was, let me move this up here a smidge. Give me a second. I'm gonna try. There we go. Maybe. Sorry guys, my canvas is pretty heavy and it's making my frame tilt. My husband's gonna cut me some PVC pipe later for it. Okay, there we go. So it's a tilt frame, as you can see. It like adjusts. I can move it up and down, which I love. However, because of I'm just starting this canvas, it's heavy on the bottom. But as I start working on it, like it'll start balancing out, right? So I'm not too worried about that. There we go. Sorry guys, I don't need to be moving you around too much. I just need to make sure I can sit properly because I don't want my back to hurt. That's the thing about like floor stands or table stands. You have to have like good body mechanics, because if you don't, you're gonna end up with a sore back or sore wrists, and I don't want that. My job is pretty demanding as it is. I don't need no body aches to go along with my stitching. You know what I mean? Okay, I know I asked this in my last video. Does anybody else go fishing on the backside for their holes? Because I always do, and I don't, no matter how much I try, like I very rarely can get it in the hole right in the first time. I don't know. I've always been that way. My sense of like depth is not very good. So oh, hold on guys, my daughter's calling me. All right guys, I'm back. My daughter, we're supposed to go shopping today, and she's like, Mom, are we gonna go today? And I'm like, yeah, but I gotta finish recording my video right quick so I can get this done. And she goes, yeah, I heard you say, hold on, my daughter's calling me. So I waited till you paused. I have a sign on my door that says, shh, recording. So they kind of know, but I can hear when they're asking for me. It's like mommy sixth sense, I swear. But I'm actually partially deaf in my left ear. So the way that I sit is my right side is it is facing the door in our house, in the newer houses, to help with circulation. We have like these grated ventilation slats at the top. So like, have you ever seen older houses where they had like that glass piece at the top, and it like would rotate to let air circulate or keep it warm? We have those in our house, but they're like metal ones that you can adjust. So it just helps with air circulation during the summertime and wintertime. So we just leave them. Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think I've ever changed it, to be honest with you. Just pretty much leave it open, to be honest. It works great. That was an option that we had, was to like add those in, and I was like, yes. My husband's like, why? And I'm like, because it'll help with our heating bill, because God knows here in Colorado we were one of the last few states. We kind of got spoiled for a while where we had a flat rate, but then the energy company jumped on the board where it's like peak rates and all that stuff, you know what I mean? Oh, sorry guys. Where's my other little sheet at? There it is. Down here in the corner. Okay. So yeah, I'm just like, well, that stinks if you ask me. And today I'm not using any lighting because it's bright and sunny out, so as you can see, we have pretty good clarity now. So I'll take it. Also, this past week, I learned how to snip my videos in my editing software. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Like, cut my videos and like edit out certain parts that I didn't like, stuff like that. But I feel like with my Stitch With Me's, I don't have to really do that because they're just literally me talking to you and you getting to know me a little bit better. And sometimes you guys leave comments and talk back to me. Also, I forgot to mention in my introduction, I did start a Facebook group. So if you haven't yet, I'll have it in my description, the link to my Facebook group. Please, please, please make sure you read the rules of this group because I want us all to like enjoy this craft and I want it to stay stitching focused and on our projects. I don't want to have to be the mean moderator unless I have to be. And in today's climate, I feel like people are getting too comfortable being disrespectful, and I'm not okay with that. I'm not that type of person that will tolerate disrespect in any way, shape, or form, whether it's behind a keyboard, a camera, in person. I've never been that type to handle disrespect like that. So I just want my Facebook group page to be a safe space for everybody, and they're all comfortable, and we can all come together over our love for this particular craft. Never would I have imagined me doing this, but when the big C happened, we were all forced indoors, right? Like we had to find something to do. So I first started out diamond painting, and I love diamond painting. The only thing that I don't like is that I have to sit at a table for that, and that's what I don't like. I mean, I love seeing the finished pictures. I have so many that are done, and I've given my kids so many of them. But what I don't like is having to sit at a table and do a dot, 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 dot. Again, the finished products are beautiful. Don't get me wrong, they're stunning. However, I don't have the patience to be away from my family like that so much. I like my own company, but when I'm home, I like being with my family. Like right now, my kids are all awake and my husband's out there, but I need to get my videos done. But I can take, once I'm done with that, I can take my laptop and sit out in the living space if I want to and edit all my videos. It's just my filming setup is in my room here. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I threw myself off switching hands mid-stitching. Give me a second. I need to let my thread unwind. If you ever notice, like when if you get too many knots, if you get too many knots in your thread, just kind of let it free fall. I can twist it while I'm stitching if I remember, which I'm going to be honest with you, more often than not, I do not remember. So what did you guys do this past weekend? Anything fun? Yeah, no, maybe. Like for me, like I said, we just kind of stayed home, hung out. I'll be going shopping with my daughter later for a few clothing items that she needs. You know, stuff like that. And it's going to let her get some driving time in because she was always kind of scared to drive, so I didn't want to force it on her. I wanted her to be ready when she was ready. But it's crunch time now because homegirl, she's going to be starting school in the fall, and she's got to be able to drive to and from campus. So I told her that, like, Mommy can't be driving you across town to go to campus now. So you got to figure it out. So she's starting to drive more, which is good for her. I'm happy for her. But she just doesn't particularly care for the snow. And we did get her own car. So when she was learning to drive, she would learn how to drive on that and just be comfortable on it. But this week, my husband went to go pick her up. My husband is a tall man. He's 6'4", 6'3", 6'4", something like that. I think 6'3", 6'4". He went in my car. Well, my car has a lot of horsepower and it's very sensitive with the gas and the brake. So I was like, hey, just let her drive home. Like in my car, she's gotten a lot better at driving. She can just drive my car. So she calls me and she goes, I need confirmation that it's okay and Dad's not fibbing. I was like, yes, go ahead. Go ahead and drive. You're fine. You're okay. So she did, and she goes, oh my God, your car, you just barely tap on the brakes or the gas. And she goes, you jerk around or you step on the gas and it's like next thing you know it, you're going super fast. I was like, yeah, now you know why. I was like, maybe we should get her own car. Because when she very first started driving, she was practicing on my car, and I was like, I think it was too much car for her, if that makes sense. So I was like, okay, well, hell, I guess that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna go get her a car. So she has a little Mini Cooper. She loves that thing, so we bought her a little Mini Cooper, and it works. She honestly, I feel like she's learned to drive that thing better than what she would have been driving my car, which is it's a sports SUV. It has a lot of horsepower and torque in it. So, yeah, she's doing pretty good driving. So now that it's getting warmer out, she's excited to get out of the house more. Before I used to have to bribe her. I was like, hey, do you want to go get boba? Do you want to go and go just driving? Like, if I wanted to just drive around, this girl would not go for it. She'd be like, hard pass. But now she's pretty good. Okay. Do any of you have teenagers at home? This is my first child, so of course, she's the practice kid. No, I'm just joking. Our other child, our other teenager, he's about to go into high school. He's going to be a freshman next year. And he's actually, surprisingly, he's excited to, like, when he's able to get a job and um, start learning to drive. And my daughter's like, how are you not nervous? And he's like, I don't know. I'm ready to get out there. Like, I think he's wanting that independence, which is nice. I'll take it. That means I'm not going to have to bribe him to go driving. Which, let's be honest, for any one of us, we're just like, dang it. Sorry about that. I hit the mic. All right. I think I'm going to finish up this row and probably call this stitch with me done, maybe? I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, I normally do like anywhere between 30 and 40 minutes. I feel like everyone kind of responds pretty well to those stitch with me's. My analytics say that people like that length, and the comments do too. Sorry. Like I said, I need to get, I'm waiting for those longer clamps to come in. These shorter ones, because there's so many of them like along the top, because it's so big, 1, 2, 3, I have 6 across the top, they tend to slip a little bit. So I did post this over on my Instagram, like a picture of it, and then I'll include a link in this video of where I got it from, and I'll also include the link of the clamps that I'm getting for it. I feel like those longer clamps will hold them in place a lot better than the smaller ones. So I'll let you guys know once those come in how well they do. Because I mean, I can work with what I got, but do I want to? Not really. I rather have larger clamps, to be honest. Yeah, definitely larger clamps, so it stays nice and taut, but not like too taut. But like in the middle, as you can see, it stays pretty taut. It's just there's too much space in between each individual one, so it causes it to loosen after a while, which is why you see me kind of hold it so my stitches can stay even. But the stand in itself is glorious. I love it. Again, I can see myself doing any large projects on here going forward, or even once I'm done with this large project, you know what I mean? I could probably take this one off and do all my stitch with me's on here, to be honest. And it would actually work pretty good the way that I have my setup now. It's kind of nice. I've seen those other ones, what are they? The aluminum frames? Has anybody seen them? I know Natalia from Lovecraft Forever has them. She says they're nice, but they're heavy. So, I don't know. I don't know if I really want to do that. I also know that Dream Stitch has like a table, if you want to call it that. It's for the aluminum stands. Like, if you go over to Dream Stitch, let me see if I can kind of show you guys in this video right quick. Give me 1 second. Dream Stitch. Okay, give me 1 second. I'll kind of show you. It's an accessory, but I don't know if I want to make the commitment. I'm one of those people where I'm willing to do reviews for you guys, but I really, my husband makes fun of me because I'm kind of a tightwad. Okay, so here we go. This is what they look like, right? It's like a whole table. See it? And then those are the frames for them. So I don't know. I mean, maybe eventually I'll go over to something like this. But honestly, this one was $120 plus like $88 per frame when I can just use my little table that I got here for like not even $100 universally. I'd rather just use this one. The concept is nice. I really appreciate it. But like the frame that I have now, it really like I can like angle it. So I'm like holding it like this, like I'm in a table mode right now. When I'm done, I can angle it straight and put it against the wall and it's not in the way. Versus that stand that's on Dream Stitch, like it's going to stay in a table area. And I'm like, that's going to take up a lot of room. And the room that I'm in now, I already have like all of my cross stitch supplies. I have 3 desks in here. So I have a study desk for my daughter because she has to be in a different environment than her room to get her homework done. Otherwise she gets distracted and tries to play video games. So I have a desk slash recording set up for me in my office. I have a desk for her. And then my husband has his work desk in here. So sometimes like all 3 of us are in here doing our thing. So the room is a pretty good size. It's probably like 20 feet by 10 by 20 feet, I would say. 20 by 20. So it's a pretty good size room to fit all the things we need, but I don't want to add, oops, I don't want to add another object in here unless I have to. See, this is what I get for yapping and not paying attention, guys. I'm over here being yaps a lot and almost stitched over a color. So, all right, I'm just going to finish up these last couple of stitches. I think we're about 35 minutes. And by the time I edit, it's probably going to be around there. So yeah, we have a little bit of time. Okay. As you can see, you see it like right here in the corner. Oop, hold on. Right here. That's an IKEA bag full of things that I need to review. And I'll be honest with you guys. I don't do all of my reviews at once because if I did that, Lord help me, because it would just be it would be a lot of work for one video to go through. So I try to like space out like how many canvases I do in each video for my sanity, because it's easy to knock out 2 or 3 reviews in one video. When I have 4 or 5, 6 in a review, it's kind of tedious because those are recorded in what's called segments for me. So I can make sure that I get all the information. It's easier for editing purposes. But it's a lot of work recording that many. So I find it easier to do like 2 to 3. And I actually find people enjoy those ones more because you're not sticking around for an hour listening to a review or waiting to get to the canvas that you saw in the picture. It's just like, bam, there's 2 or 3. And it won't take long to get to them. So yeah, that's what I like to do. Everyone has their own way of the way that they do their reviews. I'm very thorough. You guys will be able to tell if I'm tired or not though in my videos, because sometimes like I'll forget things. I'm like, oops, my bad. Didn't mean to do that. All right, I think I'm gonna finish this row. We might be right around 40 by the time we're done, which is not too bad. I don't even think I heard my daughter get in the shower yet, to be honest. So I've been up early today. I tend to get up early sometimes when I have several days off in a row, just because my body's easily able to flip back and forth between night shift and regular daytime schedule. I don't know, I've always been that way. But yeah, I think once I hear her get in the shower, I'll finish. Like I've said in previous Stitch With Me's, but if you're new here, what I like to do is try to finish one, like, you know, when you have the thread, it comes, right? And you divide it, like, since this is an 11 count, I do 3 and 3. So you get the long thread, right? So I like to try to do one long thread with a Stitch With Me. And then that way it forces me to finish the other half before I put that project away, at least finish the other half while I have it out. So like once I cut off the video with you guys, I'll still be stitching this area to get that other part of that thread finished up, because I do not like parking. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I rather, let's see, where do I have them? So I have like these plastic cards. Hold on, let me see. These. So I'll get one of these and I just use a Sharpie on here. And so say if I have extra thread, I will go and like label it on here and I'll put it in with the project before I park. Because when I park stuff, it gets in the way. And I'm like, I tried it on my Sailor Moon canvas and I'm ready to just like, with it. Like it makes me so annoyed. So I've tried parking before. I am not a fan of it. I know there's some people that love it, like Natalia from Lovecraft Forever. Bless her soul. I don't know how she deals with all them threads, because I would lose it. Things getting in the way constantly, like accidentally pulling in another color. But I'm sure she has a method to her madness, right? For me, it's just too much going on my canvas. So for me, with my ADHD, it's just easier for me to focus on this one thing, this one thread for now. And that's why when you see me do Stitch With Me's, I'll kind of look for the same symbol wherever we're at, right? Like, so like right here, this is what I'm doing. So yeah, that's what I'll do, my friends. Sorry, I didn't realize my thing started. There we go. All right, we're almost done. I think I'll stop right around 40 minutes, even if we are not done with this. We'll see. Actually, since I have 3 there, I'm probably going to stop here because that means I have to go up and around and do some maneuvering, and I don't want to deal with all that right now. Alrighty, there we go. All right, friends, that concludes this week's Stitch With Me. And again, it's that large canvas koi with peony flowers. We are in week 2. So if you stood to the end, thank you. I appreciate you watching all the way through. If you're my subscribers, thank you for returning and doing another stitch with me today. If you're not a subscriber and you enjoy this type of content, go ahead and click that subscribe button. If you like this particular canvas, go ahead and give a thumbs up so I know what kind of stitching videos you guys like. If you want to follow me over on other social media platforms, I do have a Facebook group, Stitching with Steph, that will be in the description. I also have an Instagram, that's stitching_with_Steph. And then I also have a TikTok as well. So I do have a QR code at the end of this video. And if you want to scan that, my handler's the same on Instagram and TikTok. Again, stitching_with_Steph. I also have direct links in my bio. Thank you for coming along today. I hope everyone has a good week. I'll see you in my next stitch with me. Bye-bye.